one thing to add and then a couple things to highlight, I guess. The first thing I wanted to bring to the board's attention is the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development has a grant program open right now. It's called the Small Water and Sewer Grant Program, PA Small Water and Sewer. To my knowledge, I don't know that we've applied to this in my time here as township engineer. This program is for any sanitary sewer projects or storm sewer projects. And its project costs ranging from $30,000 up to $500,000. So you can apply for an 85% grant, 50% local match. There's a lot of townships and municipal authorities that take advantage of this program. So the applications are open now. They will be received until April 30th, I believe, the end of the month of April. So it's a pretty straightforward grant program. You need a resolution to apply, you need a cost estimate, a project description, everything that we typically turn in with a grant application. So I know we have sanitary sewers that we own and operate in El Rema and in Overlook.
That was gonna be my question. Does it have to be a new project, or can it be
No.
reconditioning or a repairing of a?
It can be anything. It can be
Cammering?
Yeah, it can be operations based, rehabilitation, renovation, improvements, obviously extensions if we were going to do that. But I don't know if we need any work at our pump station in El Remo, if we need any work in our collection system down there or in Overlook.
Well, I would say based on the age, it wouldn't be a bad idea to smoke test and camera.
Right.
I would think there'd be infiltration just based on the age and different houses that no longer exist, or
When were those sewers put in, Dennis?
11?
2011.
Probably on that time period.
So they're probably 15 years old.
It went on like the grant programming went from the 8 to 11.
Probably on 14, 15 years of age.
So I'll give these are the program guidelines that I have with me here. I'll give this copy to Janice, and we can get a copy to the board members, but maybe we could.
Question, can we apply for 2 different things?
Yeah.
Given how complicated it might be.
Yep. And we can brainstorm until March 12th meeting, and then maybe we can finalize a list at that point, and we'll need time to do a resolution in April, but it should be something that we have on our radar. It's a low-cost opportunity to get funding. So,
I just know we pay for infiltration, like anything that goes through our lift station,
Yeah.
it's metered and we pay for, whether
That's right.
it's actual storage or infiltration from the system.
So there's
And
that.
it does, from what I've seen in the past, the meter wheel, both pumps go every time it rains. So that indicates there's something going on during rain events.
Unfortunately, that's pretty common, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you're right, investigation, I&I investigation program might not be a bad idea. So, manhole rehab, lining, whatever we need to do to cut down on the I&I. So we can think about that between now and next meeting and talk about it more, but I just wanted to bring it to the board's attention. Ken and I have gone out to Railroad Street on a couple occasions now. We've looked at it. I looked at this in 2023 and 2024. We've kind of been monitoring the situation. It's considerably worse now than it was even last fall. I've developed a preliminary plan drawing here, which I'll share with everybody. That it's preliminary. We haven't surveyed it yet, but it's a concept plan, what we could do to fix the situation. Unfortunately, the way that bank has been cut between the railroad and our street, it's very steep. And stabilizing that bank is going to be probably the most important thing before we fix that road, because if we just repave the road, it's going to slip again. So improving the lateral support for the road is paramount. So I'll send this to you. We can talk about it, and then I think it's going to be important to send this concept to the railroad to initiate that conversation with them. They're obviously going to need to approve anything that's near their right of way, so we can go from there, but we have at least a starting point for an idea of what we can do there. I think that's it. So unless there's any questions from the board on anything else here in the engineer's report, I think that's all I have.
What's the status of the people who didn't participate in the Mingo Circle DEP inspection?
So I'll be going out there Friday. We have there's 4 remaining to do. We have 1 scheduled for Friday afternoon, and we'll knock on the other 3 doors when we're in the area.
Okay.
But this will be now the 3rd attempt, so.
Okay.
I'll be there Friday afternoon, Larry.
And that's fine, I'm just curious. What about this, I'm gonna say maybe 3 meetings ago, when that Snee Bridge estimate came up, we, I guess, charged, Bankson with developing a cost price or an estimate or something. What's the status?
So I've been holding off on doing anything until we got positive confirmation from the statewide LSA that they're fully signed that agreement, so that we could start incurring costs against the grant for reimbursement. So I think we got confirmation from Alex that, I don't know if it was last week or maybe the week before, but it's on my list now. He has notified us that the grant agreement was signed by the township, obviously, but also countersigned by the states. Now that it's fully executed,
was the state that countersigned.
now that it's fully executed and it has live dates, there's gonna be no issue with engineering invoices for reimbursement.
No
So,
cost.
yeah.
Do you think next meeting we'd have an idea what your projected cost for that project would be?
Yeah, I can put that together.
Because we have to have discussion with Peters Creek, right?
Right. And I think the other thing we wanted to do was at least schedule an initial conversation with the LSA folks about what we talked about in that joint meeting with the authority. That concept for putting the bridge there and gating it off and so forth, restricting access just to the township.
Does PennDOT need to be involved with that conversation?
I think we should start with the grant agency and just get their thoughts on.
Because that came up as far as liquid fuels was concerned, I thought,
Mhm.
you know.
I thought we sent an email to PCSA about that situation, the bridge being blocked off.
PCSA said that they were in agreement with closing the bridge off. And they own property right before the bridge. They were okay with allowing a turnaround to allow liquid
Yep.
fuels for going backwards.
Yep.
That's what I had heard at the meeting.
That's what I
Yeah,
remember
we would be
too.
on that side of the
Right.
bridge, that they would have a key and we would have a key, and it mainly for them.
Mhm.
But they would allow us to put a turnaround in the property they own prior to the bridge.
Mhm.
And we would lose roughly a third of a mile beyond the bridge off the liquid fuel inventory, but, you know, that's, pretty minor.
Okay.
I think that's the starting point though, Larry. We need to run that concept past the grant agency and make sure it's fundable.
I'm just curious, acting as a prod, you know. So
Good
I'll go
question.
to you, Jay.
Now-
At least that's what I have.
Now that we're signed and sealed, I can start on that, so it's on my list.
I have a question, but I don't know if it's minimus in nature, if so, since we're on bridges, Stone Bridge.
Yeah.
How's the board feeling about doing some, I guess it would be a quiet title action or something to take over that bridge so we can do something about the bridge? But I don't know if that's a board motion, and I don't know if it's de minimis in nature. If it is, do we,
Well, you want the solicitor to take the appropriate action to quiet title to Stone Bridge.
yeah, I don't think we can do anything to start looking at filing for a grant for fixing it or repairing it or even testing it. And right now it's in limbo of whose it is, but I think ultimately it's gonna end up being ours.
We
But I
need
think
to
that-
provide engineering data or something.
But
so-
first we have to quiet title the bridge and say we are the rightful owners. That's what I'm saying now, like maybe the board starts there, quiet titling the bridge and saying, okay, if anybody else has claim to this bridge,
Yeah.
say so now or forever hold the peace, and then we move forward with the testing of
Probably
the
a lot of
bridge.
people raising their hands.
Oh yeah, I pretty much had the stinking bridge.
Well,
Going into Giant Eagle.
unless somebody disagrees with doing a quiet title.
I think the
Dennis,
recommendation
you
I
always
saw,
refer to that, if you did maintain something for 21 years, what does that
Well, we
mean?
didn't, the Giant Eagle
There's
did the aprons to the bridge and the, HOP for that bridge and the light less than
So
that
that was
amount of
John
time.
Eagle that did all that.
Giant Eagle put the turning lane in on that bridge, did the aprons on the bridge and put the light in. And so that was less than 20 years ago.
So they get half of it.
Well, I don't think they want it, don't get me wrong, I don't think, and it's not even the same owner anymore, but it wasn't. But I think to move forward with it, we're gonna just have to,
I agree.
I mean, I know it's in disrepair and we're taking over a disrepaired bridge, but I think to move forward and try to aim towards doing repairs on it and updating that bridge, we first gotta own it.
I think I saw the recommendation I saw about maintaining rest of the road up the hill to where residents are. They want, it should all be done like at one time, including the bridge.
Why should we do that?
I think I saw a recommendation that I got from Hank, that basically said that we ought to look at the whole bridge.
Oh, he
all the-
wants,
all the way
okay, I
down.
get it, I'm thinking like 20 years ago recommendation.
No, no.
So our road superintendent said that we have some repairs that need to happen up on the top of Stone Bridge, and that it swelled up during a freezing event, which means there's probably drainage issues up there. And our road superintendent was saying that we should look at this whole road as an entirety versus the bridge now or that now and this later. So that's what Mr. Seiler's talking about.
And I think to even do the engineering analysis on the bridge structure itself, we need to do that so we can
Right.
figure out the scope of work, if we need to replace it or if we can rehab it in place.
To test it, we
That
gotta
we
own
can
it, to
apply for a
file for a
grant.
grant, we have to own it, the ownership's in a bankrupt developer.
Do we need Dennis to finish that aspect of it?
That's what
We're saying, like, I didn't know if it was, something a board motion, but I just wanted to address, cause you brought up a bridge, that maybe the board wants to follow forward with quiet title in the bridge going into Giant Eagle and take its ownership out of limbo.
I'll start the process and you guys can refer it at the next meeting.
And then we can circle back to getting probably new quotes on the testing of it that came, we got quotes before we realized we didn't own it. But they're old now.
Yeah,
We might have to circle back.
I'll reach
and get
back out to them.
new quotes, once we own it.
I do agree it makes sense to do all of those improvements out there at one time. If you're gonna make repairs to the road, you might as well do the whole thing at one fell swoop.
Do you use liquid fuels money to repair that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we could apply to a grant program too, like
Right.
multimodal, CFA multimodal, PennDOT multimodal. Now, there's some requirements that we'd have to go through for those, but it's a chance we get some funding assistance with it too.
Yeah, sure.
There's a lot of Appalachian style pen grants and stuff like that. That is one of the largest employers in the community next to Tomco, but it also is our early grocery store. We can throw that in and.
Once we have, what, 30 residents, I think?
Yeah, I'm saying as far as the grant wise, like those Appalachian grants have to do with creating jobs and making,
There's a lot of benefited
there's
parties.
a lot of benefited programs to that with that.
Yeah.
I don't care, push every angle.
Totally agree. All right, thank you.
You always take up most of the meeting.